although this is summer, and I know although school is out, and I know that a lot of young people who are not going to summer school are having fun, but I want to give them a rude awakening. School begins again in a few weeks. And so what I wanted to do was to talk with a young lady who is the superintendent of a school, and let's talk some about the upcoming school year from a general and a specific perspective. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Haversham, and that young lady is Dr. Ashanti Johnson, who's the superintendent of Cirrus Academy.
Yes, sir.
I pause because I sometimes say Cyrus, and she smacks me on my hand, but I finally got it right. And, which is a charter school on Pinona, I believe it's 1870,
yes,
Pinona Avenue here in Macon. And it's, it's one of the vehicles for education in our community. And, I just got to talking about health. Now, the other thing that's just as dear to my heart is education. So I want to chat with Dr. Johnson, who's a very, very experienced educator. And a strange combination, ladies and gentlemen. She also is an oceanographer. And so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm superintendent of Cirrus currently. My PhD is in oceanography. Been fascinated with the ocean and STEM. Declared I would be an oceanographer in 3rd grade. So that has been my journey and commitment from watching TV with Jacques Cousteau and other things. Grew up in Dallas. Family was very encouraging. Nobody was a scientist in my family, but they showed that this is what I wanted to do, and they supported me the way they could. Went to school, finished my undergrad degree, tested out of a master's degree, got my PhD. Have been a faculty member at Georgia Tech, Savannah State, University of South Florida, University of Texas at Arlington. I was assistant vice provost until 2016, and got a phone call about a new charter school getting started
in Macon, Georgia.
Macon, Georgia. So that was in May of 2016. Came down to visit, and in June 2016, I was employee number 1.
Okay.
So moved here to be part of that vision, that launching of the school. Really excited about every progress that we've made. We finished our 2nd year, which we rolled out a lot of activities, including more of the arts, with the music, with the visual arts. Had our premiere winter performance at the Douglas Theater. And then we also started our Civil Air Patrol cadet program, which was very exciting. We had about 30 or so of our middle school students would go out to Central Fellowship Christian Academy near the Air Force Base Thursday nights, and they'd be there from 6 to 9:30 at night learning how to be cadets in Civil Air Patrol. With that comes STEM, character building, and the ability to get their pilot's license by the age of 14. And so
14?
By the age of 14. So very talented, committed students who started that program and who are continuing to have opportunities even in the summertime. So they're still involved in that. In addition, last year we rolled out our basketball and our football teams too, and so that was exciting. Cheerleading, I will say that our cheerleaders are competitive with every team out here in this area.
Right.
Our girls are good. And so with that, we've had that group come on, and so next year we're looking at competition in chorus. We're starting even more of our STEM curriculum. And so I was at the school before coming over here with one of our STEM lab teachers, and we're opening up boxes of flight simulators and of weather stations and all kinds of stuff. So really just, she said, you're as excited as we are. So the kind of things that we're doing next year, just really, really excited about it as we continue to grow.
Talk a little bit about STEM, and talk a little bit, about it. Cirrus is a charter school.
Yep.
Concentrating specifically on STEM, But now they also call it STEAM.
It is. So we are a STEAM charter school that says science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
Arts. The A is art.
The A is art. So we blend not only the STEM part, where we're looking at that traditionally, but we infuse the arts part. And so with that, that's a kindergarten through 8th grade program. Any student in the state of Georgia is able to attend as long as they can get there. So there's not a transportation provided officially, but there are a lot of carpool arrangements that happen with local transportation, after-school programs, as well as buses and vans that have routes going on. So we have that, and so we're rolling out this year even something that we're excited about. We're going to have an extended day, 30 additional minutes at the end of the day, where our students will be able to get involved with chess club, robotics teams. They'll have character building opportunities. They'll have, whether it's things from people from the neighborhood, our community can come in and pour into our students as well. So I have people who are entrepreneurs saying, I'll come in and I'll teach on this topic. So really looking at continuing to grow next year.
Well, you're in a neighborhood that sorely needs education, and although your students are not limited to that neighborhood, anybody from anywhere really. Is it statewide or just kind of wide?
It is statewide.
Anybody in the state can come.
Can come, anyone.
But talk about the kind of challenges, because I know the bottom line is to prepare the students academically and in other areas. Oftentimes we think that the only thing that matters is grades, but they are important. So talk about the challenges of developing and training the whole child.
Okay. So we have we are now involved in an intensive curriculum rebuild project. And so we've gotten master teachers and consultants and educators that are in our building this summer, where we're doing a redesign of curriculum from kindergarten through 8th grade. So it's going to be lockstep, where our first grade teachers know what our kindergarten students learn, and our first grade teachers know what our second grade teachers expect. So we go up that way, and then we're looking at what's happening in one third grade classroom is happening in other third grade classroom. It's all standard space. So you can spend time teaching our students, but if it's not something that's going to be assessed or tied into a standard, that's not our focus this year. During that 30-minute creative period at the end of the day, then we can really dive into some things. But what we want to do is have our students be well prepared to excel on those standardized tests. So that's one of the things that we're putting the effort and the resources in now and rolling that out. This year we're having our teachers come back for some professional learning even a week earlier. So we want to make sure that everybody's comfortable with the curriculum that's been designed. And we have our consultants be working with us throughout the entire year to make sure that that's laying out appropriately, and if there's some challenges, to be able to meet that. So we're excited about that. So if you go into the rebuild headquarters, which is one of the rooms in our building, you'll see all the things on the wall talking about they're going to use iExcel here, reading A to Z here, and all these other kind of things. And sitting with them, there's just a level of excitement. The caliber of our teachers are going up as well. Many more of our teachers are highly certified, highly credentialed, a lot of experience. We're pulling teachers not only locally, but from out of state. And so they've heard about it, and we have one teacher as far as New Jersey who's joining us. That's just amazing. So we're really excited about what we're rolling out for the next year.
That's really outstanding. Talk a little bit, if you would, about the merge of all of these factors associated with STEAM. How do they tie in together? I know that I know that for a long time it has been said that our country is behind as it relates to STEM.
Yes.
So talk a little bit how Cirrus is kind of putting together programs and activities to uplift these young people in those areas.
So STEM is going to be crucial for not only our United States, but our global society. As we continue to tax the resources on the planet, then we have to come up with creative solutions on how we will continue to coexist, how will we be able to renew the resources, how we'll be able to maximize those. So renewable energy, recycling, all of that is very grounded in STEM, maximizing productivity whether it's crops or whether there's farm-raised fish or whatever it is. That's all involved in the level of science. If you look at our weather patterns, the hurricanes, the tornadoes that are coming through, those different paths, that's based in STEM. It used to be, and my family lives a long life. Most of my parents, my grandparents and stuff, over 90s, right? They would know that the weather's changing. They know that it's time to plant this crop or those kind of things because they knew that. There's some shifts now. So weather patterns that you did not see in a particular area it's different now than it was 20, 30 years ago. And whether that's dealing with climate change, El Niños and everything else, that's STEM based. And so being able to correlate it for our students to relate to that and be able to be those advocates for maintaining the society and the way of life for a community, but also incorporating all of the exciting STEM opportunities. So someone who wants to be a fisherman, continue to be a fisherman, but if you know that there's been a spill of some chemicals upstream, then you need to be able to say, Mom, Dad, you can do sports fishing here, but you don't want to eat that.
Right.
So those are kind of things that where not only STEM in a abstract setting sense, but one that's actually hands-on and can be used for not only their advancement with the professionally, but for the community. And so that's one of the things that we're committed to doing is having them see the application so they can be successful as a professional, but also be able to give back to the community.
Oh, that's very, very interesting. Well, I heard you mention, the weather pattern and farming and fishing and things of that nature, all of which are associated with the environment.
Yes.
So, I'm really, really confused, frankly, about the condition of our planet. Mm-hmm. Not only am I confused, I'm concerned, because it seems to me, and you're the scientist, that there are all kinds of factors. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because maybe through the STEM education, some of these young people will be able to, research and analyze and address the problem that we're having. Talk a little bit. Some people say we don't have a problem.
So as you look at a planet with consistent resources but a growing population, there's going to be a problem. One of the things that we did at Cirrus was we took a group of students down to Savannah State for a field trip to environmental science, marine science. So they got a chance to learn about the marsh, to do some collections, to see about the ways that not only can we help out globally, because they can see themselves in that position. Because traditionally, African Americans have not been seen as environmental scientists or marine scientists. And one of the most rewarding parts for me is when we got back up to the school after that day, for some of the students to say, I'm going to be a marine scientist, I'm going to be an environmental scientist, because now I see where I fit in. We've had some guests from the National Forestry Service come in, as well as Fish and Wildlife Services. And these are two young African-American scientists, one female and one male, who are saying, I grew up from inner city. This has been my experience. For me to be able to make extra money, I had to do this on the weekend, but now this is what I'm doing. And so being able to say yes, in addition to be a lawyer, engineer, a doctor, we can also be a scientist. We can also be someone who works with our natural resources and gives back to be able to preserve it, so that the opportunities that we might have to go fishing, our grandkids will have to go fishing. The opportunities that we might have to go through a trail, that path might still be there in years to come. And so those are the things that, it's the application and forecasting that we can do through problem solving with our students, by looking at the weather stations, by looking at patterns, by having the STEAM curriculum infused through it. So we had the eclipse last year. And so with that eclipse, we had from kindergartners to 8th graders predicting how much of the sun would be obscured. So you had the math going on, but you also had the art pieces happening. And so the idea was knowing that we're at this longitude and this latitude, what does that mean for us? And being able to do those predictions is a way to learn how to become a scientist.
Right. And then there have been a lot of changes in the weather too.
Yeah.
So that too really needs to be studied. So what are you anticipating for the upcoming school year? Talk generally about what you see happening at Cirrus for the 18-19 school
Yes.
year.
So we are rolling out a new STEM lab for our middle school program. And so I'm
A
really
new what?
STEM lab, just STEM
Okay.
focused. So it's all of our middle school students will go through it. Our teacher who's teaching that is certified in science and math, social studies, ELA. So she can handle the whole gambit of it. And we're going to have those problem solving, those hands-on. So this is the lab, and she's like, "Oh, this is a dream because as a kid I used to do all this, and now I get the chance to teach everybody that." So we're not only using it for the exposure, but for remediation and enrichment. So it'll be based in standards, right? So if we're having a standard dealing with math fractions, then we're going to be utilizing some of those techniques, some of the equipment to talk about the fraction principles, so they'll be able to master that. And we're also looking to, we have the core group of cadets, and right now we're continuing going out to Central Fellowship Christian Academy for that. And we are the only public school program that has the Civil Air Patrol Cadet program. But next year we'll start having our students do it on our campus. And so we have staff that's being trained to be able to run that cadet program. As you graduate out of Cirrus Academy, you can continue to be part of that cadet program. So we had 8th graders who are leaving us now to go into 9th grade, but they're still going to be part of our squadron.
Wow.
And so that's exciting. So you have that, and we're looking at having, like I said, a competitive course. Very excited about the teacher who's joining us with that. Very experienced in that area.
Competitive
Course. So we'll have a choir that's competing.
Oh, of course.
So we're looking forward to that. Our robotics team, our chess team. So a lot of different opportunities, and having the entrepreneurship come in, because we want people not only to know about the society and the techniques within STEM, but be able to be creative and say, I'm going to forge my own path. So I'm going to be an entrepreneur. Instead of working for somebody, I'm going to work for myself. And so I need to learn how to do a business plan. I need to be able to learn how to get the finances needed to launch that. So those will be some of the things we're doing too. And that's on top of this curriculum that we're really, really excited about.
Yeah, so you're expecting to see measurable improvement.
Yes.
And I know the kids are learning, but
Yeah.
The problem is, I think in many instances, is when they try to use the standardization process and trying to measure where people are, and that doesn't always work.
And it is dealing with that, and even there's some differences. One of the things with our milestone testing and that have different accesses. So in some communities, the socioeconomic groups, then they have laptops, they have computers at home, so they're learning how to type at a young age. They're able to do that, and the testing is on a computer. Then you have some communities that we have cell phones, we might have tablets, so we're doing this. And so where we're practicing on paper, when it comes time to actually do the test on the computer, the typing skills are a little off. And so already there's a gap that has to be overcome. So with that, we're making it so we have a classroom set of Chromebooks in every class, because it's not only the content, but being able to master the platform.
Right.
And so we're going to make typing fun. Remember, you used to have a typing class way back in the day.
Yeah.
And so now turbo typing and other things, so
Right.
competitive typing, so our students are not trying to hunt and peck
Right.
as they're answering those questions.
Right.
So we found that to be an issue. One of the things about being a charter school is that we get students from all over. So our kindergarten and first graders, we're growing them up. We've also gotten some students at the 5th, 6th, 7th, and up grade that they've been in a different school system for a while. And so what we're able to do is to now do some real customized learning.
Sometimes that presents a challenge.
It does. It does. So some might be Excel, but some might need to we have some remediation to bring them up. Once they hit our doors, we claim them and we work with them.
Right.
So we're open to all students regardless of their abilities.
Yeah. How will the school year flow? And talk a little bit about extracurricular activities, though. I know that you were very interested in developing teams and competitive type entities. So talk a little bit about your extracurricular, and because it ties in. I'm
It
sure.
does. It's the wholeness, meeting the wholeness of the students. So we did launch football and we launched basketball. This football, basketball season, we're playing schools within Bibb County as well as nearby private schools. So we're having more games, and so we're excited about that. Again, this is me feeling very proudful and bragging, but I put my cheerleaders up to anybody. Those young girls have heart. And so we have them, cheering for clap-ins, for excitement. We have them doing pep rallies for academic awards. So those young ladies are not only skilled, but they're learning teamwork. They're learning the idea of there's a certain character. Because if your character is not right and your grades are not right, you won't be cheering for Cirrus. And so we're very clear about that. So we have those things. We have what we call the men of Cirrus. So when you're at our school, you might have noticed that we have a large amount of males within our school as teachers on different staff positions. And so they're now organizing and presenting a plan that they're going to have a certain group for the young men at the school.
Wow.
And so being able to speak into them. Last year we had some all-male moments where we brought the males together and we brought the men of Cirrus together, and they were able to speak about some things that are of concern. And I think that's important as well.
Is there a need for, are there opportunities for community support and volunteerism at your facility?
Yes, sir.
So I never ask them.
we welcome visitors and volunteers. There's always needs, whether that's sitting with little babies and helping them read. We actually have a lot of books that have donated to start the library. There's some retirees that are librarians from the Bibb County Retired Educators Association that's going to put our library together. But reading is something that we're trying to reinforce. Whether now we're having competitive sports at different levels, so having people who want to come out and help coach would be helpful. Having people just be in the building to be the hall monitors and things, to be successful role models, encouragers are important. And then when you get to financial support, there's always need. Whether that's in kind, whether that's helping to finalize our athletic field, whether it's looking to say, okay, you're transporting these students out every week out to near the Air Force Base. I know that's a bus driver. I know there's gas. I want to sponsor a week or so. So there's things like that, and field trips. So we are committed this year to having every grade go to the Museum of Arts and Sciences. That's in our neighborhood, however, very poorly attended by students from our community.
Right.
So having that, and that costs $7 a student. And so having those opportunities that we are going to infuse within the curriculum and having support of that would be very helpful.
Right. Now, when does this school year begin?
August 1st.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
it's only a
Not
month
too far.
away.
Not too far. People say, oh, it's summertime. You have, take time off. No. It's a busy time of year.
Well, you got
because
the
we're
rest of your
gearing
life
up.
to worry about time off. They need to be learning right now. So how does one get in touch with and find out more information?
So you're always
about
welcome
Cirrus?
to visit, and we're at 1870 Pinona, or you can go online, www.Cirrus Academy, CIRRUS Academy.org, or give us a phone call. And our phone number is 478, let me think about it.
250-1376.
There you go, 250-1376. So always verify.
That's correct.
There we go.
250-1376.
There you go. So
Yeah.
we are always open to guests and visitors. We have one person, we have an after-school summer program going on in the building. So one parent brought their child to participate in that program, and she had her family the size of 5, and she said, you know what? I want all of my kids to come here because you got kindergarten to 8. Everybody can come. Yeah.
Now tell me why I'm looking up and calling or checking on you all over the country, speaking on something. What do you be doing?
So I have been able to be a scientific mentor, professional development type person with people in STEM. I've been recognized for that. I've been on foundations, most recently I was speaking to a group in California, 2 different engagements about diversity in STEM and the need for us to be able to pour into that generation and support not only the academic learning, but culturally as well. And so I've been able to speak at several venues with that, both in the United States and abroad, and have had recognitions associated with that.
Why were you in Essence?
So I've been identified as one of the, quote, game changers, women in STEM, for our community. And so there were 15 ladies recognized in that, and I was one of those. And so it's an honor, and now those women and I have actually started communicating.
Wow.
And it'd be really amazing to bring all of us together to do something big.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate you. I appreciate your enthusiasm, knowledge, and your interest. And I appreciate your helping to fill part of the gap.
Thank you.
As it relates to educating our young people, because it's a heavy task. And I know that we have problems in our community, but I always say that the book, you know, the ballot in the book will be the way to address those problems. And the book means education.
Right.
And we need someone like you and other individuals in the community who go beyond the call of duty in trying to impart education on the community. So I just wanted to acknowledge and thank you for what you have done and are doing. And what's that website again?
www.cirrusacademy.org.
And that phone number is 478-250-1376?
Yes, sir. That's it.
This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Hamper-Sham, having interviewed Dr. Ashanti Johnson, Superintendent of Cirrus Academy. Godspeed to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Have a great day.